actually what we're going to do when we get there.
Yeah, well, I actually did nursing beforehand, and it was when I was on the wards as a nurse, I kind of got to work with some of the speech and language therapists, and I just got really, really interested in it. So I kind of just applied on a whim, not thinking I would get onto the course. And then I got onto it and I just thought I have to go for it, because it's always something I've kind of thought of doing since I've worked with them.
Well, when I first was thinking about jobs, I knew I wanted to work with children, and I knew I didn't want to be a teacher because that never appealed to me, but I always thought I wanted to work with children. So I went searching for degrees that you could work with children, and this is one that came up, speech and language therapy came up, and I applied for it. And right up until the end of my second year at uni, I thought I wanted to work with children, but then I had my last placement in a brain injury unit in Leeds, and I just loved it, and I completely fell in love with the adult side of it, and then that's how I ended up here. Yeah.
Well, I moved here and I'd never actually heard of Hull. I didn't know anyone here. So I was like, what am I doing? But actually when I got here, it was so easy to settle in. People were so friendly, like not just in the speech and language therapy team, all the staff were really welcoming. I just think there's a really nice atmosphere. You can just tell it's a friendly city. So I had no problem settling in, really.
I came here as a student. My final third year placement was here, so I came here with another girl from uni, and we were here for our third year placement. So by the time I came back to work, I knew a few people here, but like Devla said, everyone's really friendly and really welcoming straight away into the team. So we didn't feel nervous coming back at all. We just knew that we were coming into a welcoming environment being in the hospital. So as speech and language therapists, what we do is assess people for communication and swallowing disorders. So that kind of covers a really broad number of patients, doesn't it? So I have more of an elderly medicine focus, so I tend to be on the elderly wards, working a lot of the time with patients with dementia. But I also work on other wards as well, just wherever's needed, really. And you're more...
Yeah, so I'm just based here on the 11th floor. So this ward, this is the stroke ward, so it's acute stroke. And then ward 11, that's neurology and stroke rehab. So I'd have kind of more of a role in the communication side of things as well as swallowing. So people who have a language impairment or slurred speech after a stroke, we'd kind of assist them with therapy and help them getting back to kind of their baseline before they came in. Well, I had a gentleman yesterday who's quite elderly. He's 94, and he came in and he had a stroke, and it kind of became quite clear that he doesn't have a safe swallow, so he's at risk of getting a chest infection if he eats or drinks. So we kind of had some discussion with other team members, and people were kind of saying, oh, he's for a feeding tube, he can't make decisions for himself. And after speaking with him, he kind of had a very, very clear decision that he didn't want a feeding tube, and he actually just wanted to go home and take the risk of getting a chest infection and, you know, going back to his own home to be comfortable more than anything else. So I find that quite inspirational, that despite loads of different people coming in saying, oh, you need to get a feeding tube or this is an option, he just knew straight away what he wanted and he could make his own decision, and it was just really important that that was listened to, and it was. So that made me quite happy.
I think what I find quite inspirational with all the patients that we work with is how much they're able to go through. You know, they're in hospital, they've got all these issues going on, they've been through a lot. Some of them have had multiple surgeries, might have had something really terrible happen to them, and you go and see them and they'll still have a big smile on their face, and they're still really willing to work with you and still feeling positive. And I think sometimes you get a bit dragged down with the day-to-day life and feeling a bit sorry for yourself, or something's gone wrong at home, something like that, and then you come in and you see what these patients have gone through and they're still feeling positive. It kind of really picks you up, doesn't it? When you think, it kind of puts it in perspective for you. They've gone through all of this stuff and they're still feeling really positive, and they're wanting to work with you, and I think that's really inspirational.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm from Yorkshire, so from Leeds, so it's not too far away, but I think before I came, everyone has this perception of Hull. I think I did as well before I moved here. When I said to people that I was moving to Hull, it was a bit like, oh, why are you doing that? Why are you going there? And then I got here and I just realised how much there was going on here. You kind of think, oh, it's kind of at the end of the earth, there's nothing that's happening down there. But there's so much to do, there's always places to go. And what I really love about Hull is how much independent stuff there is going on. So there's not as many chains as you would find in somewhere like Leeds. There's loads of independent coffee shops and restaurants and stuff that seem to be doing really well, which I think is really nice.
And Humber Street, there's a new street, there's loads going on in the city, like loads of new pubs, restaurants, loads of things popping up. So it seems to be changing. Like even the year I've been here, so much has changed. There's so many new things happening.
Yeah, so. I think since I've been here as well, you can see the difference. And now a lot of the improvement works that have been going on in the city centre are all finished, and all the barriers have been taken away. It looks amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially on a sunny day. It looks so pretty on a sunny day.
If people are thinking about it, I would just say go for it. Definitely go for it. I think we're such a welcoming team, aren't we? And we try and make everyone feel welcome, and a lot of people want to stay. Like, I wanted to stay as a student, so I think that says it all.
They say that, don't they? It's a city you don't think of coming to, but then you never want to leave. And that's certainly been my case. Like when I moved here, I was thinking, oh, I'll just go there for like 6 months or a year, get a bit of experience. Now I don't want to leave. So